Good evening, this is Sushikage here, and I am bringing you another deck profile. So this is actually one of my favourite decks at the moment, and it's the deck I actually ran at the Brotherhood event, which is just over a week ago. I didn't come amazingly highly placed in it, I did only get 50th place, but it was a fun day, and I do feel that I made the right choice in deck, just may not have made some of the best plays possible on the day. The deck I'm running, or was running, is H.A.T. I just love the Traptrix engine. I've been looking for a way to use them for a while, and when H.A.T became a thing, I just kind of leapt at it because I just love the plays you can make. Not so much just for the searching the holes, but the fact you can pop with a Melio when bringing it back. Yeah. So I've got the very standard, 3 Melio and 2 Dionair. Some people run 1 Dionair, but I do feel that at least 2 is necessary because you want to have it available to bring back those Melios. But the thing is that you also need to have 2 of these so you can make the Dionair to Dionair play. So those are the 5 standard Traptrix. I have, of course, the 3 fire and 3 ice hands. It's not H.A.T without the hands. I have 2 morale attacks. Some people choose to play 3, but I believe only 2 is needed because you don't want to be drawing it. It's incredibly dead in hand. It's just not a card you want to see unless you're getting it off of a Sanctum. I run 2 Maxis. Maxi is not as relevant to main deck choice at the moment, but you have to remember that there have been quite a few in 32 tops recently, so I felt it had to be in there just for game 1 in case you run into Infernity, so you're not just going to be dead in the water against them. It just felt very necessary. And then the final card, which was the MVP of the day, is Majesty's Fiend. It won me quite a few games. Very handy against a lot of decks. So yeah, absolutely love that card. Very easy to bring out, especially if you've just brought a monster back or have had something sitting on the field. You can literally just tribute for that guy. So that's the monster lineup. Very, very standardised there. Let's get these guys out of the way. Next up, spells. So 3 Upstart. I am a big fan of Upstart. I put in a lot of decks because I like running a 37 card deck effectively. The life points aren't so important. Yeah, it's just a very nice card to just improve the consistency of your deck. And also, it's a super easy side out option for when you are going into game 2 and 3. Book of Moon, really good right now. Gets around a lot of things. What can I say? And the fact that it can work around a lot of cards without having to worry about it being trap stunned or wiretapped. It's just too good right now. 2 MSTs. I did choose to pop these in just because sometimes you need that removal. I know a lot of people are starting to use MST, but I felt 2 mained was very useful at times. Then we've got the triple Pot of Duality. I actually picked these up just before the event. Luckily arrived just in time. Very nice little first edition secret playset. I know the ulties are out, but I do feel that this secret is much more appealing, especially when I'm also running a Pot of Dichotomy as well, so it makes a nice little kind of set there. What can I say? I'm a sucker for secret rares. So next up, Soul Charge, just a 1. It's too good to not have in the deck because you can easily bring back those morale attacks from the grave to make plays off of it. You can bring back various monsters to make rank 4 plays. I don't like running a lot of it, but I think 1 is just right because you can save it for that opportune moment. Dark Hole, because I still feel that removal is important. Sure, there are some cards you don't want to destroy. There are some things that won't be destroyed by it, but for a lot of matchups it's very relevant. And then we've got my whole section. So, interesting thing, before the event I was actually originally going to cut Bottomless from my main and side and just not have it at all. I did switch back to having Bottomless at the last minute, literally as I was writing my deck list, but yeah, I came very close to not running it because I was wondering how much or how many shadow holes we'll see there, and there are a lot. But it did prove useful in several games. So I run 1 Bottomless, 1 Time Space. If you don't have Time Space, you shouldn't be playing H.A.T because it is just needed now because of the decks that are currently around. especially Shadows. If you don't have this, you're just not gonna cut it. And then one Trap Hole Nightmare. We've got the Free Sanctum, you know, very nice and standard right there to go into his 2 Mirror attack. Got Compulse, which is of course yet again another very important trap of this format. Standard of one-offs, we've got Trenchal, we've got Solemn. I've got one Call of the Haunted. I do feel more than one is a bit cloggy. One Blackhorn, because I know it's less relevant now, but of course there are decks, or a lot of decks, do go for overlays. And then there were quite a few Giga Stuns floating around, so I felt it was necessary having at least one in there. And then my standard 1 Wire Tap, which I ran in the main, so it makes a 40 card main deck. So I'll scoop these out of the way, and we'll quickly get on to the extra. So my extra deck for the day starts with Ragnar Zero. I threw it in just in case Madolches were around. There were a few there I saw. I felt it just needed to be in here just in case. The standard Exciton, you have to have it. Dweller, you have to have it. Emerald, because you can recycle things, especially things like those Maxis if you need to. It can be beneficial in some scenarios, but also mainly recycling those Morale attacks. Epstein Berserk, yet again won me a lot of games, just emptying people's graveyards out, getting rid of their resources was great. Cowboy, I did win a game off of this, burnt the game, very handy. Utopia, not a lot of people play this, but I find it's really nice in this because 1, it's quite a big beater, but 2, it allows you to control your opponent's attacking, so you can stop them attacking with certain things into the hands. It lets you control how the hands are effectively used a lot of the time. You have 1 Arc, and then 2 Castile. Castile is so good right now, it's just too good to only run 1 or none. You need at least 2 on the deck, because his ability is just brilliant. Putting stuff back to opponents for decks really disrupts plays. Great card. On Black Shippercorn, because sometimes things just need to be sent. And then I've got the last 4 slots dedicated to, of course, the Morale attacks, which can be overlaid. I've got 1 Pleiades, just need to have it. 1 Volcasaurus, that burns nice. Tyrus, because sometimes you need to put something out that can't be destroyed. And then finally, once you've used abilities or running along material, I've got the standard Gaia Thundercharger just to kind of make that overlay and go through kind of defensive cards. So there we go. So that was a 40 card main, and of course the standardised 15 card extra deck. I will look at my side quickly because you probably notice this deck isn't very well cut for fighting Shadows at the moment. I actually had a 10 card side for Shadows, which seems pretty excessive, but it made people very cautious in playing me, which made it quite nice to actually get those plays through. When people play cautiously around you, they tend to make bad plays. That's kind of a very strong trend there. So the 10 cards I had put aside for Shadows, but also relevant for some other matchups, were Nobleman of Crossouts. Oh, skip past those. 2 Metaions. I actually won one of my Shadow games by throwing this out. Funny story, he actually went into time with me, and I had the last turn, and he actually called it before he ended his turn, saying, I think I've got this. Oh, obviously not, because my turn, threw out Metaion, attacked, bounced his monsters back, burned him for enough damage, and won the game by 100 life points. It was absolutely hilarious. I have got 2 Deep Prisons. That's nice, just deprisoning those windows. 2 Deep Darks. So I'll swap out the Bottomless and swap out the Nightmare for those 2. And then the last 2 siding cards which we used for Shadows are Breakthroughs. Now, I don't have any Shadow Imprisoning. That's because I don't like it as a siding card much, because it's just too easily popped, especially when a lot of Shadows are running artifacts, so you can just ignition it. It's just, I don't feel it's strong enough. It's got a great ability, it's very powerful, but it's too easily removed and too easily dealt with. My last siding cards were Maxi and Flying Seas. They're great for things such as Infernity, really stop them in their tracks. I actually quite hilariously stopped a Constellar player I played on the day using the Flying Seas. And opened with a perfect hand, went to go make that Pleiades play, stopped him with that, and then just ran over him in literally a couple of turns. It's so funny. Then finally Mind Control, because mirror match, You can just take your opponent's monster overlay, and also things like gear, you can just take that armor. And then finally, the last MST for where it's needed. With things like skill drain around, I felt we needed to have that third MST available. So there we go, that is the deck. I am thinking about doing a few revisions on it. I do feel I might need some lances in the main deck, because I need to kind of protect majesties. And I am considering making a few other little changes here and there. Yet again, if anyone wants to kind of give any feedback, then you're welcome to, or if you've got any questions, welcome to just leave me a comment. That's H.A.T, over and out.